Are you looking for 8 best things to do in Tasmania? Tasmania boasts numerous anciental attractions, together with the Port Arthur Historic Site. However, its particular vegetation and fauna make it an outstanding vacation spot for taking part in nature. Though you will have 19 countrywide parks to pick from, you may not need to overlook Cradle Mountain, Lake St Clair's trails, and Freycinet's beautiful scenery. Wellington Park, the Launceston Cataract, Gorge, and First Basin, and the Royal Tasmanian Botanical Gardens, meanwhile, are outstanding alternatives if you are sticking to a good budget. Here is the list of 8 best things to do in Tasmania. 1. Freycinet National Park, Coles Bay. Occupying a peninsula simply south of Coles Bay, Freycinet National Park is a top spot for bird-looking, tenting, and scenic drives. The park additionally functions white sand seashores surrounded through purple granite peaks, which are simply as famous with photographers as they may be with swimmers, kayakers, and snorkelers. If you would as a substitute hike at the same time as exploring this blanketed area, you will discover more than one trails for quick, half-day, and in a single-day hikes on site. 2. Cradle Mountain, part of the Tasmanian Wilderness World Heritage Area. This countrywide park incorporates regions, Cradle Mountain and Lake St Clair. In the northern Cradle Mountain section, you will discover the majority of the attraction's facilities, which include a vacationer center, a present keep, and more than one cabins. Cradle Mountain is likewise the start line for the Overland Track, a 40-mile route that takes at the least 6 days to complete. The southern Lake St Clair area, meanwhile, functions Australia's innermost lake, plus trekking trails and picnic regions. Lake St Clair is likewise the finishing factor for the Overland Track. 3. Wellington Park. Located about 13 miles west of Hobart, Wellington Park have to be a pinnacle preference for out-of-doors lovers staying in Hobart. This nature reserve is packed with picnic regions and forested gullies, which may be explored through a lot of trails. Hiking is the maximum not unusual place manner to wander around this park. However, for extra thrill, traffic can get round through bike, horse, or four-wheel pressure vehicle. Experienced climbers also can hike the Organ Pipes, a chain of vertical rock buttresses located on Mount Wellington. 4. Launceston Cataract, Gorge, and First Basin, Launceston. Staying in Launceston in northeastern Tasmania, then you will need to feature the Launceston Cataract, Gorge, and First Basin in your itinerary. Situated much less than 3 miles from downtown Launceston, this herbal surprise is brimming with amusing pursuits, from trekking trails to a swimming pool to the world's longest single-span chairlift. You'll additionally discover a suspension bridge that hyperlinks the South Esk River's banks. 5. Port Arthur Historic Site. Port Arthur. For a dose of Australian history, make your manner to the Port Arthur Historic Site. Built in 1830 as a wooden station and penal agreement for Britain's criminals, the assets increased over time to deal with greater than 3,500 convicts throughout almost 250 acres. Today, it is certainly considered one among 11 locales that make up the UNESCO World Heritage Indexed Australian convict sites and welcomes traffic each day. 6. Three Capes Track, Port Arthur. Active vacationers who need to interrupt a sweat at the same time as taking in breathtaking bay, sea, and cliff panoramas cannot pass over Tasman National Park's Three Capes Track. This 28 half-mile path, which functions a flat wooden boardwalk and paved steps, making it an outstanding alternative for hikers of all talent levels, begins off through the Port Arthur Historic Site and takes you on a 4-day, 3-night hike round Port Arthur, Cape Pillar, and Cape Hoy. You can also additionally even see marine mammals like seals, dolphins, and whales alongside the manor. 7. Royal Tasmanian Botanical Gardens, Hobart. When you are in one of a low-key interest after spending more than 1 day's hiking via Tasmania's countrywide parks or alongside the Three Capes Track, spend an hour or on the Royal Tasmanian Botanical Gardens. Nestled inside Hobart's Queen's Domain community through the Derwent River, this out-of-doors oasis functions more than one gardens, which include ones that residents indigenous species, herbs, and cactuses unfold all through greater than 34 acres. A conservatory, a lily pond, and the world's best subantarctic plant residence also are positioned in this video. 8. Bonaron Wildlife Sanctuary, Brighton. Tasmania is domestic to a number of the world's maximum particular natural world, and one of the island's first-rate locations to capture a glimpse of those critters is Bonaron Wildlife Sanctuary. Situated in Brighton, much less than 2 miles out of doors the metropolis center, Bonaron is a 24-hour facility that treats injured and orphaned animals earlier than returning them to the wild. Some of the animals briefly housed on the sanctuary consist of wombats, Tasmanian devils, quolls, koalas, and emus.